Ever wondered whether stew or soup reigns supreme in the culinary world? Well, you're not alone. This age-old question has stirred up many a kitchen conversation. Today, we're taking a deep dive into this flavorful fray, exploring the defining characteristics of both soup and stew, their rich histories, nutritional values, and cultural significance. We'll even put our taste buds to the test with some mouth-watering recipes. So grab your spoons and your appetites, folks. Join us as we delve into this deliciously heated debate. First, let's define what sets these two apart. Soup, a culinary cornerstone across cultures, is typically a lighter dish. It's characterized by a more liquid consistency, whether clear or thick. Soups can span the spectrum from the humble, heartwarming chicken noodle soup that many of us grew up with, to the more lavish bisques that elevate our dining experiences. On the other hand, stews often bring to mind a heartier affair. They're thicker, with a more robust texture, often achieved through a slow cooking process that allows the flavors to meld and deepen. The ingredients in stews tend to be chunkier, giving a more substantial mouthfeel. As the stew simmers, the liquid is reduced, resulting in a gravy-like consistency that's rich and satisfying. You'll often find meats, root vegetables, and a variety of herbs and spices in a stew, all contributing to its complex flavor profile. Now let's talk about how these dishes are prepared. Soup, with its more liquid base, is often boiled. This cooking method allows the flavors of the ingredients to infuse into the broth, creating a harmonious blend of tastes. It's a quicker process compared to making a stew, making soup a go-to for many when they need a quick, comforting meal. Stew, however, is a labor of love. It requires time and patience as the ingredients are left to cook slowly, often over a low heat. This slow cooking allows the flavors to develop and intensify, and the ingredients to become tender, creating a dish that's deeply flavorful and comforting. So, in essence, the main difference lies in the consistency and cooking process. Soup is generally lighter and quicker to prepare, with a focus on the harmony of flavors in the broth. Stew, on the other hand, is heartier and requires a longer cooking time, resulting in a dish that's rich, satisfying, and full of depth. Historically, both soups and stews have been staple dishes across cultures worldwide. Both born out of necessity and practicality, they've nourished humanity and warmed souls for countless generations. Let's take a short journey back in time to discover their origins. Soup, in its most basic form, water enriched with whatever ingredients were available, has been around since the dawn of cooking. Archaeologists suggest that soup may date back to as early as 20,000 BC. The invention of waterproof containers, likely made from animal hides or clay, allowed our ancestors to boil water and create the first soups. From these primitive beginnings, soup has evolved, becoming more complex with the advent of new ingredients and cooking techniques. Stew, on the other hand, is a testament to human ingenuity in the culinary world. Slow cooking tougher cuts of meat along with vegetables in a pot allowed for a more efficient use of available resources. The word stew itself is thought to come from the Old French estouver, meaning to enclose. This concept of cooking foods slowly over a low heat has been adopted by cultures all over the world, resulting in a wide array of hearty and comforting dishes. Over the centuries, both soup and stew have evolved far beyond their utilitarian origins. In the Middle Ages, soup was often a catch-all term for any dish where ingredients were cooked in liquid. It wasn't until the 18th century that the word soup took on its modern meaning. Similarly, stews have transformed from a way to make tough meat more palatable into an art form in itself. Today, it's possible to find stews that are as simple as a peasant dish or as sophisticated as a gourmet meal. From humble beginnings, both soup and stew have evolved into varied and sophisticated dishes. They've journeyed from basic sustenance to gastronomic delights, reflecting the history and culture of the people who cook and eat them. Each dish, whether it's a light and refreshing soup or a hearty and comforting stew, tells a story of human culinary evolution. Nutritionally, both soups and stews can be packed with essential vitamins and minerals. They are like culinary kaleidoscopes, blending a variety of ingredients from vegetables and meats to grains and legumes. But how do they stack up against each other? Let's start with soups. Soups, often brimming with a variety of vegetables, provide an easy way to increase your daily veggie intake. They are a treasure trove of nutrients like vitamins A, C, and K, and minerals such as potassium and magnesium. Plus, the high water content in soups makes them hydrating and potentially beneficial for digestion. They are also typically lower in calories, which can be a boon if you're watching your waistline. Now let's dive into the hearty world of stews. Stews are generally more calorie-dense compared to soups, and this isn't necessarily a bad thing. These calories often come from protein-rich ingredients like meats or legumes, making stews a great source of this vital macronutrient. They also tend to be higher in iron, particularly if they include red meat or lentils. But the nutritional prowess of stews doesn't stop there. Thanks to their slow cooking process, stews can extract and retain more nutrients from the ingredients, particularly from tough root vegetables and meat. Plus, the thicker consistency of stews means they can keep you feeling full and satisfied for longer, potentially aiding in weight management. So, who wins the nutritional face-off? Well, it's not so straightforward. The nutritional value of both soups and stews can vary greatly depending on the ingredients and preparation methods used. It's fair to say that both can be stars in a balanced diet, each offering a unique blend of essential nutrients. Remember, it's not a competition. Whether you're in the mood for a light, refreshing soup or a rich, satisfying stew, both can provide a tasty and nutritious meal. So go ahead and enjoy them both as part of your culinary repertoire. After all, variety is the spice of life. Both dishes can be part of a balanced diet, providing essential nutrients in their own unique ways. Culturally, both dishes have significant importance. These are not just meals, they are the essence of our traditions, the carriers of our heritage. Each bowl tells a story of the place it comes from, of the hands that prepared it. Let's take a journey around the world through these dishes. Starting in Spain, the refreshing cold soup known as gazpacho is a summer staple. Its bright flavors of ripe tomatoes, cucumber, bell peppers, and olive oil are a reflection of the country's sunny climate and love for fresh produce. Now, let's jet off to Japan, where the ramen soup reigns supreme. Born out of a fusion of Chinese wheat noodles and Japanese broth, ramen is a testament to Japan's ability to transform borrowed food concepts into something uniquely their own. But let's not forget about stews. The French beef bourguignon, for instance, is a dish that commands respect. This classic stew, with its tender chunks of beef slow-cooked in a rich red wine sauce, showcases the French's meticulous approach to cooking and their deep appreciation for good wine. And then there's the Indian curry. A stew in its own right, curries vary from region to region within India, reflecting the country's diverse cultures, traditions, and palate. Whether it's a fiery vindaloo from Goa or a creamy butter chicken from Punjab, each curry tells a tale of its own. These dishes are more than just food. They are a medium through which we experience different cultures. They bring us closer to understanding the world and its diverse people. And in a way, they help make the world a little bit smaller, a little bit closer. Whether it's a comforting stew on a cold winter night or a refreshing soup on a hot summer day, each dish holds a special place in our hearts and our cultural heritage. They remind us of where we come from, and in some cases, they guide us towards where we want to go. Now for the best part, the taste test. The moment of truth, the final showdown, the culinary climax, whatever you want to call it, it's time to put our taste buds to work. We've got 3 soups and 3 stews lined up, all boasting different flavors, textures, and aromas. First up, we have a classic chicken noodle soup. The broth is clear, the chicken tender, and the noodles offer a delightful chew. There's an inherent simplicity to this soup that warms the soul and tickles the taste buds. It's a comforting, homely dish that seems to wrap you up in a warm, culinary hug. Next, we venture into a bit of luxury with a creamy lobster bisque. The complexity of flavors in this dish is a testament to the finesse of soup making. The richness of the lobster, the creaminess of the bisque, and the subtle hint of sherry all combine to create a symphony of flavors that is both indulgent and comforting. Our final soup is a hearty minestrone, brimming with fresh vegetables, beans, and pasta. It's a true celebration of nature's bounty and a perfect example of how a soup can be both light and filling. The broth is flavorful, the vegetables tender, and the beans add a delightful texture contrast. Now let's turn our attention to the stews. First on the list is a traditional beef stew. The meat is fall-apart tender, the vegetables cooked to perfection, and the gravy is rich and hearty. This stew is a testament to the art of slow cooking and the depth of flavor that can be achieved through patience and care. Next, we have a spicy chickpea stew, a vegetarian delight that bursts with flavor. The chickpeas offer a satisfying bite, the spices a warming heat, and the tomato-based sauce a robust, hearty backdrop. It's a dish that proves stews aren't just for meat lovers. Last but not least, we have a seafood stew brimming with a variety of ocean treasures. The seafood is cooked to perfection, the broth is rich and flavorful, and the overall experience is one of indulgence and satisfaction. It's a stew that truly celebrates the bounties of the sea. Each of these dishes offers a unique taste experience, showcasing the versatility and depth of both soups and stews. The soups demonstrate a range from light and refreshing to rich and indulgent, while the stews offer a journey from hearty and satisfying to spicy and exciting. Whether it's the hearty stew or the light soup, each dish has its unique appeal. It's not about choosing a winner between soups and stews. It's about appreciating the culinary artistry that goes into creating these comforting, delicious dishes. So the next time you're faced with the soup versus stew debate, remember, there's a time and a place for both. And that time is usually when you're hungry, and that place is usually at the dining table. As we can see, both soups and stews have their unique appeal and devoted fans. Each dish, with its unique blend of ingredients and flavors, tells a story that's steeped in history and culture. From the light and refreshing broths to the hearty and comforting stews, each carries its own charm. Let's not forget the nutritional face-off we had earlier. The versatility of both soups and stews allows for a wide range of nutritional benefits. Soups, with their high liquid content, can be hydrating and easy on the digestive system. On the other hand, stews, with their reduced liquid and chunkier ingredients, tend to pack more calories and protein, making them a more filling option. And who can ignore the cultural significance of these dishes? Be it the gazpacho from Spain, the ramen from Japan, the beef bourguignon from France, or the curry from India, each soup and stew is a testament to the rich culinary heritage of its place of origin. They're not just dishes, they're an experience, a ticket to a different part of the world. Then, of course, there was the taste test, where we put our taste buds to the ultimate test. The wide array of flavors, textures, and aromas was a gastronomic adventure. Every sip of soup and every bite of stew was a reminder of the culinary diversity and creativity that makes these dishes so beloved. But at the end of the day, whether you're a soup enthusiast or a stew lover, it all boils down to personal preference. Some may prefer the lightness and simplicity of a soup, while others may be drawn to the richness and heartiness of a stew. And that's the beauty of it. There's no right or wrong answer. There's a soup or a stew out there for everyone. So as we wrap up this culinary journey, it's clear that there's no definitive winner in the great soup versus stew debate. Each has its own merits and appeals to different palates and dietary needs. But one thing's for sure, whether it's a bowl of soup or a pot of stew, it's the love and care put into preparing these dishes that truly make them winners. What about you? Are you team soup or team stew? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tasty showdowns like this one. Thanks for watching the great stew versus soup debate. Stay hungry, stay curious, and we'll see you in the next video.